Our mind can be our greatest ally or the roadblock to our success. This extraordinarily powerful tool is always working in the background, constantly replaying past experiences, and if left unattended, can force our habitual routines to overrun our creativity. To change this mindset, we have to increase the mind's awareness and direct our thoughts in our own desired path. There was a young woman overwhelmed by the dramatic stories of her past. She started to shut down from the social world around her. She rarely made eye contact. Instead, she looked down at the ground because the ground was safer. Because unlike people, it expected nothing in return. She doesn't have to feel ashamed about her past. The ground just accepts her for who she is right now. On a cold, snowy night, she decided to take a trip to a local bar. When she got there, she found herself sitting next to a young man. She stared down at her vodka tonic and then at the ground. The young man, aware of this awkwardness, felt a desire to break the ice and spark up a conversation. He leaned over and said hi. She nodded her head and looked back down at her drink. He asked her name. For some reason, she was impelled to push past her anxiety and fear and speak with the man. They started up a friendly conversation. As she began to open up, she asked the young man if she could tell him a story. He said yes and listened to every word. As the young woman shared the discouraging stories of her past, her failures, wrong choices, and missed opportunities, the man could see the raw emotion present in the tone of her voice and in the depths of her eyes. When she finished, she said, "Well, now you know my story. You must think I'm crazy, don't you?" The young man said nothing for a moment, just gazed into her eyes. Then he spoke. "Place your right hand on your chest." She did. "Do you feel something?" She said, "Yes, I feel my heartbeat." "Now close your eyes and place your hands on your face. What do you feel now?" "I feel my face," she said. "That's right," he replied. "But unlike you, stories don't have a heartbeat, and they don't have a face. Because stories are not alive. They're not people. They're just stories." She stared into his eyes for a moment, which felt like forever. Then smiled sincerely and said, "Just stories we live through." "Yes, and stories we learn from." Sometimes we're so caught up in the story of past experience that we neglect to realize that the world has endless opportunities to provide. To overcome this, we'll have to learn how to understand the mind's awareness, practice how to train a thought, and embrace a mind waiting for direction. It's just running off past experiences caught up in a negative loop. Become aware of that negative thought and replace it with a future outcome. The past is never a present moment, and the future lies in the hands of the person willing to write a script of one's own mind.